that being said, I'm going to hand it over to you, Nechelle, to talk through ColorLuxe Liquid Blush.
Okay, fantastic. Let me get my screen shared and we can get this going. Let me put into presentation mode. Make sure everybody's alrighty. So can everyone see this? Everything's clear, everything's good. All right, welcome again to ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. Let's do a quick little intro. Emma, if you can unmute yourself and please introduce yourself to the people, please.
Yes, of course. So my name is Emma Roberts, like the actress, and I have been with Jane in various capacities for about 8 years, which is crazy. And I do the social media and influencer management here at Jane Iredale. So I've been working with Nechelle on these master classes for several years now and loving it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And just a quick little pop in of who I am. If you don't know me, my name is Nechelle Turner, and I am the Global Makeup Artist and Educator here at Jane. I do all things both domestically and internationally, working with Emma, working with product development, just teaching and living my best life, I guess. And I have been with Jane Iredale for 11 years. So I may know a little something about something. All right, so we're going to jump right into it, looking at our agenda. First and foremost, we're going to talk about blush trends. We're going to introduce you more closely to ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. We're going to talk about some liquid blush concerns because I know that a lot of you probably are on here because you're a little like, I want to try it, but I don't want to try. I don't know. I have no idea what liquid blush is. So we're going to get those out of the way. And we're going to go in with some application tips, which what you'll see is placement is quite important because it can really enhance your look, or it can kind of, give you something maybe that you don't want from your look from any blush application. We will take another look at our Jane Iredale blush assortment because I think it's still important to give those gentle reminders of the products that we continue to keep on our beauty gallery and have. And then we're going to do a live demo. Imagine that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. Market Pulse. It's all about the cheeks. Blush is really making a comeback. I know that as I've been kind of going out speaking about ColorLuxe Liquid Blush, blush really has its time right now. 2020, of course, obviously, it was all about eyes. We talked about eyeshadow like every day, every season. I mean, we just talked about eyeshadow, clearly because everyone was wearing a mask. And then as soon as those masks they came off, we like focused on our lips. Like I feel like things are very cyclical, but lips, I mean, we showed up and showed out with lips. We did. We introduced our ColorLuxe lipstick shortly after, but we really focused on our liquid lipsticks that were non-transferable and really beautiful bright colors. We did a reformulation of our glosses, so lips really had their moment. But cheeks kind of, really kind of got lost because once we transitioned to lips, we then moved on to complexion. And I feel like everyone was looking for just this really dewy, kind of natural complexion without much color, but just this clean girl aesthetic, right? Well, now we have returned to color with the focus being on cheeks. And as a brand, we've been really thoughtful about modernizing and bringing more fresh looks to all of our color products. So of course, I talked about a little bit about our ColorLuxe lipstick, and we really wanted to kind of round out that category with our brand. Also, we introduced our ColorLuxe eyeshadow sticks. I mean, everyone has fallen in love with these, and there's more to come, hopefully. But I see people coming in getting three, four, five different shades. People that have given up on eyeshadow and have just rediscovered their eyeshadow talent with our ColorLuxe eyeshadow sticks because they're just so easy to use and multitasking. But again, really modern and fresh and clean, just beautiful shades that look good on all skin tones and all skin types for all ages. And then this magnificent formula was launched in a just a little bitty family. We launched what, seven shades, I believe, five shades or seven shades. I can never remember. Our ColorLuxe lip glaze, but again, bringing that freshness, still being very complexion focused because this is something that really enhance that clean girl aesthetic by adding that shine with a bit of color. Okay. And now we're rounding out this category with our ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. ColorLuxe Liquid Blush really captures the way that skin comes alive with a real radiant flush in a weightless formula that just feels natural. So, naturally radiant, customizable color, effortless application. So one of the things we really had to consider when we innovated this product was you all. What really, really, really what drove this texture and this formulation really was you all. Like we needed to make sure that it was easy to apply, that you can customize it, that you can layer it, that you had some playtime, that the pigment wouldn't go on so heavy that you would say, oh no, I've just made a mistake. I don't want to wear this anymore. We really wanted to make you all the driving force of this particular formula. So we're going to play. This is something that we are going to do that's kind of fun. I don't know that we've ever done this on one of um, our webinars, but I'm going to play a little video for you. I think it's thinking. Okay, there. I just think that's such a fun video. I think it's just so cute. But I mean, as you can see throughout the video, I know those were professional models and of course they were guided, but you can see it was just such an easy application. So our tagline for this particular product is turn it up or dial it down. So again, we were really taking you all into consideration. We didn't want you to have to be a professional makeup artist to master this product. We wanted someone who possibly, I hate to say it, if you have to put your makeup on in the car. Yeah. I live in the Bay Area, so I see it all the time on the Bay Bridge. We wanted you to be able to do that. Or if you're someone who likes to sit in front of your mirror and take your time and really just, present your makeup in such a way that you almost romance it. We wanted to make sure that that was captured as well. So buildable, versatile, easy application. We wanted that tapestry of Jane Iredale to really stand true here and that radiant healthy finish. We are known for our complexion products. We're known for skin looking like skin, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to enhance that as well, including like we just launched Skin Tuition, one of our largest launches probably in Jane Iredale history. And again, we wanted to really capitalize on that as well. Have some fun with it. These shades are absolutely wearable for everyone, but we also want to make sure that they're fun. So we wanted to give a little personality behind it. So the concept, if you haven't guessed it, is the platform of music. Okay. Do we have any questions or concerns right now before we really get a little bit further in? Let
Yeah,
us know.
Summer has a question. She asks,
Yes.
does it contain phenoxyethanol? Sorry for that pronunciation.
Okay, I will look at the ingredient and I will circle right back. But let me look at what you're trying to pronounce and then I'll be able to circle back. Okay. All right, no problem. These large words, I know sometimes they get you.
So
All
hard.
right, so let's look at liquid blush concerns. I will admit this, and I don't know if I should, but I will. I remember when we were talking about this particular innovation, I think I was the voice of contention, which is quite unusual because if you know me, you know I love color, I love makeup, I love all the things that, make us just who we are. And when I heard about us possibly introducing a liquid blush into our platform of products, I immediately said, no, not a good idea. And I think because just still being a working artist, and I didn't say this in the beginning, but I've been a pro makeup artist for 30 years, and I'm still a working artist. And as soon as I saw like all this hoopla surrounding liquid blushes, I of course went down and I bought a ton of them because, I wanted to see what the noise was about. But what I was finding was that I didn't like them, even as a pro artist for 30 years. There was just too much pigment getting onto the skin. The application was quite challenging because there was not any playtime, so it would dry very quickly. So if I didn't hurry up and work with it, I would find myself like kind of buffing it out with another product. Didn't blend well. And our number one selling product in our entire portfolio of products is our Pure Press base. We sell one of those every 60 seconds globally. So when you think about using a liquid over a powder, another reason why you should shake your head no, right? And what I was finding when I was working through some of these products that I had purchased, that it just wasn't working on top of my Pure Press base. I was getting a lot of separation and peeling and rolling on my clients as well. So I thought, absolutely not. But Nicole, our brilliant, brilliant director of product development, said, we're going to get this formula right and we're going to nail it so that everyone falls in love with it. And lo and behold, we have fallen in love with it, right? We will talk a little bit more about the ins and outs and also some ingredients that I want to make sure that you are aware of that really will enhance our skincare makeup story. So just give me a second, we'll get there. But before we do that, let's take a look at the shades. All right, so we have our Sugar Magnolia, which I think everyone loves. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a muted, cool pink. We have our Sweet Jane, which is that beautiful medium mauve. So if you are a fan of any of the Glow Time sticks, I'm sure these kind of tones will look familiar, even in some of our pure pressed blushes. We have our Dancing Queen. So this is where we add a little bit of fun. And I know when I was doing the rollout at the partner here in the Bay Area, this was the shade that most people were curious about because, at first glance, you're like, purple. What am I going to do with something that's purple? First and foremost, look at how beautiful this is. It really presents as this really soft, light purple, but just gives such a beautiful shade. And here's a fun fact, this is the only tone that we have that has a light shimmer. So you don't have to go full force with this shade. You actually can use it as a highlighting shade as well. And then we have no guesses here, my favorite, Wild Child, which is that vivid coral pink. So if you know me, if you have had any time with me, then you know this really tracks with me. Absolutely I'm obsessed with this shade. And then I also have fallen in love with Cinnamon Girl, which we will be demoing in a bit. Cinnamon Girl is that beautiful soft bronze terracotta. And what's great about Cinnamon Girl is that it doubles as a bronzer too. And I mean, if you wanted to really just kind of enhance a little bit more color, if you didn't want to use a powder bronzer, or if you didn't want to use a stick bronzer, this is just a great way to add a little dimension and color into your skin. Especially because winter's coming, everyone still wants to kind of hold on to the little summer that we have, just that warmth. We also have Heartbreaker, which is this lovely warm rosy pink, and Bombshell, which is this really, really beautiful, beautiful, vivid pink red. And what I would like to say is that you are seeing all different depths of skin, all different undertones, all different tones of skin, all ages. Please do not lock yourself in a box. Do not be afraid because if you see Bombshell on, an 84 in Skin Tuition, and you are a 36, do not be afraid to try it. Please do not lock yourself in a box. Again, these are really meant to complement all skin tones. You can tone them down or you can really just dial them up. Okay. I'm curious to see if anyone has any favorites or if somebody has their eyes on something just yet. Alrighty, so just again as a reminder, customizable color, ultra blendable that can be sheared out or built up. It's this really beautiful, healthy, radiant finish Easy application. What you'll see is that lovely doe foot applicator. And that's another thing that I was struggling with other brands is these huge doe foot long applicators that I couldn't control. So we wanted to make sure again, and we went through several, right? Emma, you were in some of those meetings where we were like, no, this is too big, too small, but I feel like we got it just right. Workable formula for effortless blending, soft, lightweight texture. All right, so let's look at some of the ingredients. Again, we are the skincare makeup, and that means that even our color products will always have some sort of skincare benefit. We want to make sure that we cover our bases by, again, continuing that tapestry of who Jane Iredale really is. So we wanted to make sure it was breathable and it just felt light on and airy on the skin. So the first ingredient is squalene, which we know is derived from olives. This is known for moisturizing and skin softening properties. And then this is a fun ingredient. I went down a rabbit hole one day with this ingredient. I was watching a herbalist on the YouTube and it was just fascinating. So Ricinus communis, which is actually a castor seed oil. And it's just, I mean, it's really, really, it does wonders for the skin. It's healing. It helps the skin to retain moisture. It helps the skin to look plump and gives this beautiful, beautiful, supple appearance. And then, of course, we have our antioxidant blend. We have that vitamin E and UV absorbers to help protect against environmental stressors to promote this radiant, healthy complexion. We know vitamin E is fantastic for protecting the skin against environmental damage. So, again, you have your antioxidant blend as well. I feel like the chat is just going crazy. Emma, what is happening? I need to know.
Yes, well, so many people were just saying that they love the different shades. So Dancing
Okay.
was someone's favorite, Bombshell
Okay.
was loved. And then we do have a question about which shades are best for different undertones. So this specific question is which shades are best for yellow undertones?
Okay, so for yellow undertones, I mean, honestly, I have worked with putting cool, kind of playing with the cool tones on top of warmer undertones, and they've worked just fine. I think because they're so sheer that you can absolutely still, even if you have a yellow or warm undertone, you can still rock one of the muted rose tones. You can do Dancing Queen. Of course, if you want to stay in your comfort zone of like Wild Child and Cinnamon Girl, absolutely do that. But again, don't be afraid. I'm quite warm and I love using more of the rosy tones and the plum tones for my cheek color sometimes just to give me a little bit of a different look to my skin. Okay. I feel like a lot of times too, going opposite of what you are will definitely enhance you a little bit more, especially that area of the face. So if you do a cooler eye, absolutely you can stick with a cool palette. If you do a cooler lip, same rule as well. Now, this is also something that's quite interesting for us. This is something that we almost never do. We never, ever, ever, and we're always getting asked, well, how many hours do I get from this particular product? We never do this, but we actually tested this. 8 hours of staying power for all day radiance. The color does not shift, it does not disappear into the skin. It doesn't move, it doesn't get extremely oily. If you have oily skin and that's a concern, the radiance is absolutely, again, it just gives you this beautiful healthiness to your skin. All right, so here are some of the different looks. We have soft and subtle, we have that fresh and playful, and then we have that bold and radiant. So if you look at a side by side here, you can see how we were comfortably able to build up the product to give what we wanted in the end. Okay, here's another example. That bold and radiant, I just love. So you can see this really to me, even in all different degrees of levels of application, you can see that it just gives a freshness to the cheeks. It's almost like, if you go outside and it's really, really cold and you come back in and you just have this really beautiful flush tone to your skin. I just think that's what it reads to me. That's what it gives. Just healthy, healthy, happy. healthy and happy. I call them happy cheeks. All right. And lastly, here's another lovely model. Okay. Again, three different applications, but just giving something just absolutely beautiful. Now, this is where you may want to take a little bit of your notes. So let's talk about application and the different techniques of application. So first and foremost, there are ways that you can really just build structure into the face. Of course, when you put your foundation on, you create a flat surface. So you really need to start popping your features out with your colors. If you do any contour highlighting, fantastic. Also, your concealers can really be a great way to really pop your features. One question that I get quite often is, where do I know where to put my blush? What is my blush placement? I don't know, if I should put it higher on my cheeks, lower. All right. So if you want to do something that's pretty lifted, or you kind of want to lift the face, the best method is always going to be to go a little bit higher and work a little bit higher on the cheekbone. So here we have the light and lifted. We have two dots just really, really underneath the eye area, pretty close, and taking your cheek brush and doing an upward motion. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of working inward. I love to just kind of give everything a lift. Now, again, this is going to be fantastic for someone who has possibly a rounder face, or anyone that kind of wants to give a little bit more of a lift and not work so much in the apples of the cheeks. Okay. Now, the other application method that I wanted to share is the fresh face finish. With the fresh face finish, say that 50 times, okay? This is going to work more towards the apples of the cheeks, more towards the bridge of the nose. Now, I will say this will bring fullness to the face. So typically, when I have a client that has a thinner face or like a longer face, I always think of Sarah Jessica Parker. I think she is like the quintessential, longer, thinner face. I'm obsessed with her. I think she is absolutely beautiful. But again, like with that type of bone structure, you want to give a little bit of softness. You want to create some volume. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're working in the apples of the cheeks, because that will bring fullness. Okay. Any questions there?
We do have a question about which brush to use. And I noticed that the cheek brush is in both of these slides. So I'm
Yes.
wondering if you can address that.
Yes, absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier, the cheek brush is probably going to be the best method. However, I know I have some finger folks out there, and that's okay too. Again, this product was really made to be an easy application. I just prefer brushes because I think you get a much more even application. But placing your two dots, if you want to do that lifted, or if you want to add a little volume, absolutely do so. You're going to take your brush and then you're going to work in an outward motion. If we're lifting, we're going to work up. Okay. If you're working with your fingers, you're going to just simply, I would use one dot instead of two just to start. Do your one dot and you would tap until it's melted into the skin, it's blended in. And then if you want to build on top of that, absolutely do so. But your brush is going to give you grace if you're using two dots, okay? Or if you really want to build very quickly. Okay.
One more question.
Yes,
Lauren
ma'am.
is asking which application is best for an oval shaped face?
For an oval shaped face, um, I like the lifted, but I also like to add a little bit, not so close to the bridge of the nose. I still work on the outer part of the apple of the cheek. And because I have an oval face, you said Lauren? Lauren? Okay. Lauren, I'll do that on myself and any other oval girls out there, so you can watch me, because I still like to add a little pop of color here. I don't like to have all of my color back here. So I'll show you how to do that. The closer that you bring that to the bridge of the nose, the more volume you're going to get. Okay. All right. Anything else before I move on?
Yes, Danica is asking, she says she loves the blushes, which I love.
Oh,
And
good.
says, can you let me know what are the UV absorbers?
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is it's the fact that it does have the vitamin E. When you're working with an antioxidant, whether it's vitamin E or vitamin C or pomegranate like palm mist, anytime you're working with an antioxidant, it's always going to help to up the benefit of the UV protection, okay? Because it's going to help to fight against those free radicals that are out. And particularly when you're out in the sun or you're under like fluorescent lighting, we're getting exposed to free radical damage constantly, right? And that's a UV source. So what the antioxidants do is it's almost like if you I don't know if you're old enough to know this, but Pac-Man, the video game Pac-Man, right? This is when I learned when I worked in skincare is antioxidants will always treat free radicals as like they will like kind of eat up the little monsters basically. I know this sounds really silly, but if you can like visualize. So what essentially the free radicals do is they break down skin. So they come in like a little Pac-Man and then you have the little ghost, right? So if the antioxidants come in and pretty much save you from the Pac-Man eating away, they're really just I know this is like gone off the rails. Like I'm listening to myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, going off the rails. But essentially, what it does, it helps to fight that free radical. It helps to get rid of that Pac-Man. It helps to stop that damage from happening in the skin. And I hope that made sense. I'm sorry. Like I sometimes, I'm very much an artist, so I kind of get in my own way when I'm doing education. But I hope that you understood that visual. I thought it was fun.
I love a good visual.
It was colorful.
Love it. Okay, so two more questions. One is asking for tips on square shaped faces, and then the other is asking how to make your face appear thinner with blush.
Okay. Okay. So with squares, you definitely, again, you want to bring some softness. So I would definitely work more in the apples of the cheeks. And what was the other one?
So square and then how to make your face look thinner were the two
Well, if
questions.
you're making your face look thinner, this is where we can add in tones like Cinnamon Girl to kind of do some shading. So I will definitely show you that when we get to our demo as well. And if you feel like, I want to possibly, which I'm going to move right along to because I don't want to, hold everyone. If you want to kind of move on to like the Glow Time blush, if you have our Glow Time bronzing sticks, if you want to kind of do your sculpting first, you absolutely can do that. Do your sculpting. And remember, if you are doing sculpting, be mindful of where you're placing it. So if you wanted to make your face a little thinner, always feel for that ridge. If you want to do it a little bit around the jawline, you absolutely can do that. Forehead on the sides. Do that first, blend it in very well, and then you can add your pop of color with your ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. Okay. But I will, as we start to do our demos, I will talk you through all of that. So now what you're seeing is our blush formats. We have our ColorLuxe Liquid Blush, we have our Glow Time blush sticks, we have our Pure Pressed blush. And again, please do not lock yourself into a box. If you want to do, mixed formulas, you absolutely can do that. Remember, the ColorLuxe Liquid Blush only has one that has a shimmer. So if you want to take a Glow Time blush stick that does have a little bit of shimmer and add a little pop of highlight onto your cheekbones, absolutely you can do that. If you want to make sure if you're going to be like maybe in extreme heat, and you want to possibly cut down some of the radiance of the ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. If you're in high humidity, I don't know, I mean, if you're going to go on vacation, but you want to make sure that it just doesn't get too radiant, you absolutely can use Pure Press Blush on top of it. So again, I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much money in, my Pure Press blushes or my Glow Time blush sticks. What do I do now? Here's another product. They all work very, very, very friendly with each other. Have fun. Okay. All right. So any questions before we move on to our demo? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop my share so we can see Emma's beautiful face again. Alrighty. So I think we're going to do The same shades, correct? So we intentionally chose the same shades because obviously we are different skin tones, but we want you to see how beautiful and how versatile these shades can be. And I have decided to, poor Emma, when you work with me, you always, always, always magically become a makeup artist, right? So rather than one shade, we're going to actually use two shades. We're going to use Cinnamon Girl and Wild Child. So someone asked me about possibly doing a little bit of sculpting. So I will show that. I'm going to put my water down so that I won't knock it over. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we'll start with our Cinnamon Girl. And let's say we're going to use it just kind of as like a little bit of a bronzer or like a sculptor. Okay. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. So what I would do is I am a huge believer, and this is what I teach everyone. If you're gonna do any bronzing, please don't do like a tiny little stripe here. We want to keep the bronzing on the outer perimeter because we want the bronzer to kind of show up where the sun would naturally hit the skin, right? And again, we're just add a little bit of color. And underneath the cheekbone is also a nice place to put this as well. So let's start there. So we're going to do a couple of dots here. You got your two dots? Yeah.
Yep. Wow, it looks so much deeper on me than you.
I know. I know. They're going to do one on the side. Okay. And right underneath, right on top of the brow. Okay.
Like right here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
right on the side. Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm going to have you blend it a little differently than, and plus too, our face shapes are a little different.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm going to do here, 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 here. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to take our cheek brush. So good. That's
Thank you. It's
I'm so proud of you. Yeah, theoretically yes. But that's okay. We are gonna work this out. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our cheek brush and we're gonna work in a downward motion and we're gonna swoop it right underneath. But you can see, look at how pretty and radiant it is.
And I also think it's important to point out I am pretty pale. In the grand scheme of things, I fall into the fair to light range.
Yeah.
I
What
wear
what do you
warm
wear?
I wear warm silk in Pure Press Base and 24 in Skin Tuition. So I'm
Oh
pretty
wow. Okay.
you
Okay.
see how beautifully this blends out even on someone who is as, pale as me.
And I range, sometimes I'm 70 if I like to add a little bit more warmth. I'll go 74 with my skin tuition. And also I want you all to take note is Emma is not a powdered person. She's not. She's wearing skin tuition and I have on Pure Press Base. So again, proof is in the pudding that you're able to use this right on top of your powder products as well. Now, if you do plan on using this, oh my God, that is so beautiful, Emma. If you are planning to use this on top of your Pure Press base or your amazing base, this is my pro tip. My pro tip is to take your hydration spray your powder down first, and that just kind of melds everything in, makes the skin just nice and luscious. Then go in with your ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. Okay. So that's my pro tip. I love to make life easy for everyone. But you can see Emma and I are both like wearing Cinnamon Girl, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, for you, Emma, you definitely, if you choose to, you can add a little bit of volume to the apples of your cheeks. So, what I would like for you to do is you're going to place yours a little differently. So, you're going to do Wild Child. So, you're going to do two dots here and here. Okay. So, relatively close. Now, because I don't need any more volume to my cheeks, but I still want that pop of color, I'm going to go a little bit further out. So, right underneath my iris. Okay. And that's my two dots.
Did I
Perfect.
do okay, or are they too
Yeah.
far?
No, they're beautiful. Absolutely. So when we're blending in that part, what I like to do is I like to do like more of a circular motion.
I
But
haven't tried
again,
this shade yet. Isn't that
huh?
sort of, I said I haven't tried this shade yet.
It's so pretty.
It's
But
so
what
pretty.
again, I want you to see is this beautiful, beautiful color, but you still have some radiance there, right?
I feel like when I move my head like this, you can kind of see it right here.
Yeah, you can. The light hits it differently.
And I think, I forget who asked the question. Liza asked the question about undertone. So for me, I think I have more of like a neutral to warm undertone,
Mm-hmm.
but I tend to prefer cooler shades. So I love Sweet Jane. That's my favorite shade of the collection. And like
Yes.
I've never tried Wild Child before, but this is definitely a warm tone shade and it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's so pretty. I love this. So, that is so pretty. You have happy
So
cheeks.
pretty. I know.
So pretty. So, so, so pretty. So we really wanted you to see that definitely, again, let's see, how do you know undertone? Okay. So how do you know undertone? So different undertones, we have our cool undertones, we have our neutral undertones, we have our warm undertones. Easiest and the quickest way for you to know your undertone is to look at your décolleté. That's what I would suggest. So you see, my décolleté is quite yellow, so that means I have a warmer undertone. Now, if it was more on the red side on my skin tone, but if you're lighter skin and you see a lot of pink, then you're more of a cool undertone. Now, if you have equal parts of both, warm and cool, then you're going to be more neutral undertone. All right? Okay. All right. So that looks fantastic, Emma. I think it's beautiful.
And I will point out just from personal use. So, like Nichelle said, I tend to be kind of a cream liquid person. So I love Skin Tuition. I love our Pure Match concealer. So I sometimes found that blushes, if I used a powder blush, it would sort of stick and be harder to blend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I love using this product. I mean, you saw how quick it was for us to apply it, and that was with two shades. I usually just use one. So,
Yes.
in the morning when you're trying to get everything done and kind of on your face and looking presentable, I find it really fast and easy to use,
Yes.
compared to powder blushes. And like Nichelle said, like there's a place for both. If it's hot, I'll wear both, but I just find it really, really fast for liquid blush. I see Katie's asking what's on my lips. I am wearing Desert Rose ColorLuxe lipstick. So it's part of the ColorLuxe family. Can definitely wear multiple ColorLuxe products.
I love it. I love it. Someone asked, I saw another question that popped in is if I'm neutral undertones, what tones that should I wear? The beautiful part about neutral undertones, because you are a mixture of cool and warm, you could wear both cool and warm shades. Okay.
I will put in the chat as well. You can always visit one of our partner locations as well to purchase. But if you're wanting to just kind of go to the website, check it out, maybe make a purchase for ColorLuxe Liquid Blush now. I'm just going to put that in the chat.
Let me, okay. And then I want to check that question about that ingredient,
Mhm.
so that I can give the correct information. And while I'm doing that, please make sure that you ask any questions. I don't
Yes,
see.
I'd love to know if you put it in the chat which shade is your favorite or which one you might want to try. I know for me, like I said, I was drawn to Sweet Jane initially because it's that sort of mauve that I tend to go for. Obviously, the Desert Rose on me is quite mauvey, so I love that one. But I've also found that Bombshell, even though I'm pale, like Nichelle said, don't kind of pigeonhole yourself. Bombshell is stunning on me, and it can be sheared out so so well. Yes, so you can, so Denise is asking, can you use liquid foundation with the pure pressed base powder? Yes, you can. So if I want more coverage, I know Nichelle, I think you wear this on the regular, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just sorry, I was reading the ingredient, but absolutely when I have on Pure Press blush now. I mean Pure Press base now. So what my pro tip was a little while ago was to make sure that if you wear Pure Press base or amazing base, or or even if you're using one of our translucent powders, whatever the case may be, always make sure that you take your hydration spray first, spray your powder down, just get everything nice and melted into the skin, then apply your ColorLuxe Liquid Blush. Okay, so that's my pro tip. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I find that I get a better result when I do that. Okay, and that's what I've done today.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then
Um,
I did summer. I do not see that ingredient on our list, and thank you for Emma for also answering as well. So it is not present. Have no fear.
yes, and I think it's pronounced phenoxyethanol.
Yes, that's exactly.
Not
Oh.
my butchered before. Okay, so we have a couple other questions. Judy said that she wants to try Dancing Queen for a holiday look. I think that would be stunning. So Judy, I'm getting really excited about this. Judy, if you try it, please post on social media if you feel comfortable and tag us at Jane Iredale. And if you don't feel comfortable, totally understand that. But try emailing our beauty advisors just so I can see it because I'm so curious. So their email, and if you have questions too, if if you think of a question after this and you want to ask it, please email beautyadvisors@janeiredale.com and they can help you with undertone questions. They can help you with application questions. They're really a special group of women. And then we have a couple other questions about, so cool undertone was one question. So what shades would be recommended for a cool undertone? And then some really great questions, I think, about like what powder blush would you recommend pairing with Sugar Magnolia or Wild Child?
Okay, alrighty. So let me answer this really quickly because I want to make sure I get ingredient things out of the way. The fun stuff we can talk about in just a second.
Okay.
Someone said I did not see castor seed oil on your site. If you recall, the the castor seed oil is the layman's term, but the ingredient you'll see is Ricinus communis. That is the castor seed. Okay. All right. All right. So we want to talk about the pairings. I probably should have did a slide for pairings. I didn't think about it.
I think that, yeah, I mean, I personally love like I would wear Sugar Magnolia with Barely
There,
Rose.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Wild Child, it depends on like if you wanted to do something really fun with Wild Child, I would actually pair it with Peaches and Cream, or if you are a little deeper in skin tone, Copper Dusk.
I was thinking Velvet Petal.
That would also work
That
as
would I
well.
think
But
that
if
would be like less kind of like coral though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be nice. But if you wanted to add a little, if you wanted to do a little zhuzhing, peaches and cream, one of the shimmer bronzers on top, I think would be beautiful. But again, if you're a deeper skin tone, copper dusk on top of that wild child. In fact, I may do that when we're done and take a picture.
Okay, look, I just typed that out so you don't have to sort of like remember that. So that's you should see that as an answer to your question. Okay, Summer is just saying that she's allergic to phenoxyethanol. So she's saying please keep it out of products, which we did for this one. Okay, let's see. Um, could you use the ColorLuxe before, would I use the ColorLuxe Liquid Blush before contouring? I think that's a great question. So like what order do you use?
Okay, so what order? All right, contouring is always gonna be first. Contouring and bronzing will always be before your color. Remember, when you're contouring, you are literally sculpting the face. So it could really change the dimensions of your face. You don't want to go in and add color and drown it out with your contouring. So sculpting the face first with contouring. If you're adding color like we did today with a little bit of cinnamon girl, doing some bronzing, you're going to do that first and then you're going to pop your color where you want.
Yes, I love that. Okay. So Allison is saying that she is golden tan / autumn in Pure Press base. She's
Mm-hmm.
thinking about purchasing Heartbreaker and Wild Child.
Yes.
Do you think these colors will look good on her golden tan / autumn skin tone?
Absolutely, absolutely, it will. Because I'm assuming that you may even have a little bit of an olive tone to your skin. So I absolutely I would be a super fan. In fact, I would like to see that as well. Make sure you all post these things and tag us.
Please. Yeah. Yeah. I know myself. There's another Emma on the team that really manages social, and we would both love to see that. So please do tag us on social media if you post. I think something that's really important to note too, with because there's been so many questions about like what blush works best with what undertone or what skin tone. I think what I've really learned and what I had to sort of teach myself with this product is
Hmm.
that it really all depends on the amount that you use. So,
Yes.
like I said, for me, I just gravitated right to Sugar Magnolia and Sweet Jane, and those were like the ones that I thought, okay, these are the only ones I'm going to try.
Yes.
And then
Absolutely.
I saw someone who was relatively my skin tone in the office wearing Bombshell, and I thought, okay, well, I have to try that. And so I just did a tiny little, like half a dot. I wiped off the applicator and I
Hmm.
applied it and I blended it really, really well with the cheek brush, and it was
Hmm.
stunning. So I don't, even if you're pale like me or deeper, I think just try the different shades. And if you're like, okay, I want to try them, I hear you, but I don't want to buy them before I try them, please visit a partner location. I'm going to put our location finder in the chat so you can put in your, town or your zip code and find a partner near you that carries. We just recommend calling ahead just to make sure that they have the products you're interested in.
Hmm.
But definitely go visit a partner location and try them if you're, a little unsure, because I mean, I think you're going to be really surprised at how beautifully they blend out, even just on your hand. I mean,
Yes. Yes. And if
that
you are wanting to inch your way into this and you're quite not there yet, you can always use this product underneath your foundation. This is absolutely magical underneath Skin Tuition. If you do your primer, your Smooth Affair, you all should be using Smooth Affair. Brightening, illuminating, mattifying, one of the Smooth Affairs. Go in and do your cheek with your ColorLuxe Liquid Blush, and then you can paint your Skin Tuition right on top. And what you'll see is that color will slightly just peek through. Okay, and if you feel like you need to build more with a Glow Time blush stick or powder, you absolutely can do that. So if you are really like listening to Emma and myself and you kind of want to take to dive, but you're not really quite there yet, absolutely use it underneath your liquid foundation. And even if you're a Dream Tint or Hydro Pure, same thing. Use it underneath your foundation and you'll be able to still see that beautiful color and that beautiful radiance.
Mhm, and I bet you that if you do that trick, you're gonna apply a little bit more after, because you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's really pretty, and I actually wanted more color."
We'll
Because I
see.
did that again, like, I did that with Bombshell, and because I was a little scared of it because it's so bright and red.
Hmm.
"Oh, okay, I actually want more color." So I went
Yeah, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and that's what you'll find. Sometimes it's a brand new product for us. So sometimes with the newer products, I mean, even with Color Lux eyeshadow sticks, I remember people were like, "Well, I'm just gonna use Moonstone, right? I'm just gonna use," and then they started to like, embrace Saddle and Ivy and and Midnight even. So if you need to take baby steps, absolutely do so. Someone just asked, should I use blush before foundation and after primer? This is only for if you want a slight bit of color. You absolutely can use it after your primer, before your foundation. If you still are a little unsure about the product and you're trying to get that nerve up to really build it up on top of your foundation, you can use it after your primer, but before your foundation. Okay.
Okay, we have one more question from Sharon.
Oh,
She's asking if it's better to wear cooler lip colors with a warm skin tone.
I do. You know what? That's a really good question.
I know.
Now, for me, now again, this is going to be personal preference. It depends. Like, if I'm doing a red, I'm always going to go for a blue base red, a cooler red. Orangey reds on my warm skin tone, I just don't like them. But I would wear like a warmer rose or more of I would never wear a cool rose on my lips. So I think that's going to be something that's more like trial and error and what makes you feel comfortable. But I love a good cool red. I love a good cool plum, but I prefer like warmy roses and things like that that you would you would definitely kind of associate with being a cooler tone. I like to go in the warm. So that's a decision that I cannot make for you. I apologize. But I really think that warm skin tones should really start to think out of the box and try stepping into cool color tones. Always make sure your foundation is your warm tone. But color products, I think you would see some lovely results if you go for something cool.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's also personal preference. Like I said, earlier, I'm not sure if you were on, Sharon, but I'm kind of a neutral warm, so I wear warm silk and, 24 in Skin Tuition, and, I kind of go both ways. So I tend to prefer cool, but, you know, I think it's kind of fun to play around. Okay.
So can this be used on lips as a lip and cheek stain? So, okay. I would suggest that if you're wanting a true lip and cheek stain, work with our Forevers or our liquid lipsticks. Um, this product, what I've seen, and I've seen people use it on the lips, but it doesn't stain the way that our Forevers or our liquid lipsticks do. Like I don't see that happening. But if you again, if you want that true stain, we have other formulas that are better suited for this. Okay.
Yes, I was actually just writing back to Denise, but Denise asked for a recommendation on a cool red color lipstick, and I was writing back with candy
Candy
apple.
apple. Yep. Candy apple. That's exactly what I would
Yeah.
suggest.
It's
So
kind of
pretty.
classic, like, cool toned red that you can wear anytime.
Mhm. It is. It's so pretty.
It's
So, so pretty.
okay, well, I don't see any other questions. If you have a last one, make sure to shoot it in. But I think overall, my, like, final message, I was talking to my mom about this. She's, in her early 60s, and she was kinda like, "I would never try a liquid blush. I don't know why you would." 'Cause she's so used to powder, which I think is so many women, they're so used to powder blush.
Yes.
And I told her I'm gonna next time I come home, I'm gonna make her try it because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And the sort of, glow that you get
It
really.
brings a freshness to the face.
Yes, and it
It
really helps
does.
you have, fine lines, wrinkles. I think it makes them kind of look plumper, and it's so easy to blend, and, if
Yeah.
you do a little bit too much, which I can do, just take your foundation brush and kinda buff out the edges. It's just so easy, like, it's
Yeah.
such an easy product.
But I definitely think that because it is such a beautifully, like, radiant finish, that it can bring a freshness to even someone that has, fine lines and wrinkles or dehydration or dryness to the skin. I think it just brings that just a fresh face. I think it just again, happy cheeks. That's all about the happy cheeks. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Katie just responded saying that she was just like my mom until she saw our presentation today. Well, we did a good job. If you were my mom, I'd bring you a little, a little treat of liquid blush.
Oh, the perks of having
Yeah, having a daughter. Yeah. Well, I love that. I think, we have one last question from Sharon. She is
Okay.
asking if it's the style now, to wear a light lipstick instead of a deeper one. I feel like it's personal preference, but what do you think, Nichelle?
I'm always gonna advocate for light lip because I love a good nude, and I know that you love deeper lips. I think it's personal preference, and honestly, the focus this season is all about cheeks. So I think lips you can just do whatever you love, but I definitely feel like the focus is now put on cheeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think lipstick is, I mean, I think color in general, but I think lipstick especially is really personal preference.
Mm, it
Um,
is. Some
yeah.
people feel more comfortable with brighter tones. Some people like I just brighter love a good nude. Love a good nude. Love a good nude. Yes.
Yeah, and I love
Alrighty.
the mauve. That's just,
Yes.
but, um, okay, well, I think that's it.
Yes.
If you, kind of joined late or, might wanna watch it again or share this with a friend, we're gonna be posting it on YouTube, and then, I believe tomorrow you'll get an automated email that goes out with that link. So, again, if you have any other questions, make sure you email our beauty advisors at beautyadvisors@janeiredale.com. You can also always send us a message on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, and we'll be able to answer you there. But thank you so much, Nichelle. I always learn something from you. And I
Thank
like I
you.
said, never had tried Wild Child, and now I'm wearing it tomorrow. So
Welcome to the other side. The wild girls are here. Yes. Alrighty, thanks everyone so much. I appreciate you all for taking your time to do this with us. Please, good luck. Good luck. And maybe I should put my Instagram, my makeup
yes.
artist Instagram in. So I will put my makeup artist Instagram in the chat just in case you all are in need of some help. And I understand I'm very DM friendly, so no worries. That is my IG handle. So if you have questions, feel free to send me some DMs and I will get them answered for you. Alrighty?
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And remember, this will be on YouTube. So if you want to watch it again, you can definitely do that. Thank you so much, Nichelle.
Thank you, Emma. I had so much fun, as always.
Okay.
This
Goodbye.
is live TV. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Everybody.